But who can't and why?
Warren Buffett can't, and you can judge this by his stock. His Berkshire Hathaway stock is trailing behind the S&P 500 the last couple of years, and it's sort of surprising because it's possible most days to read about Warren Buffett in certain publications. He's reasonably well exposed.
Like People or
People, right, and the Daily Racing Forum, for instance. No, but so he's reasonably well exposed, and so there's this sort of disconnect. Why is his stock seemingly being ignored at a time when you can't get away from the guy? The guy's on TV every time you turn it on.
And this is the valuation thing in Serena Ng's story here. It says it's trading at close to 1.1 times book value, and book value is
a measure of net worth.
A measure of net worth. So just a little bit more than one, compared to an average of the last 2 decades is about 1.6. Meaning basically it's about a third undervalued from normal, right?
Right. I mean, it's hard to know what to make of those sorts of numbers, but it's certainly been trailing behind the stock market lately, which over time it doesn't. Over time, it's outperformed the stock market by a pretty large margin. So then you have people saying, has the guy lost it, or are there other things at work? Are there other factors? He's been doing all this charitable stuff. Is giving the stock to charities that then have to sell it to raise money, is that a causing factor? I mean, it's not possible to say for sure.
And then the succession issue, as the story mentions.
Totally, that is a big issue. That gets bigger and bigger every year, as he admits. Whether they're doing enough to deal with that is a question. And you see the stock not performing very well, and you say to yourself, well, maybe that's something that's keeping people out of the stock.
Is there anybody in the wings who's going to be capable of managing this collection of assets? We saw this when Sandy Weil gave up Traveler Citigroup.
Things didn't go well there, as I recall. That's
AIG, the same sort
of. It
is
interesting. As soon as he left, it basically started falling to pieces. Right.
Right.
Now, I mean,
right.
this is not good at all, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think people would argue that maybe Berkshire is not exactly the same as either of those companies. There was maybe a little. The argument could be made. There's a little overreach both at Citi and at AIG in terms of how they built up their.
Is this anything to do with the fact that this is a $120,000 stock?
Yeah.
And
that's pocket change to you, of course, a guy of your
caliber.
One
stock. You get one stock for that.
Yeah.
I mean that's got to be a bit of an impediment for a small investor.
Yeah, your retail take up on that stock probably not a lot.
And retail investors do matter. I mean, en masse, individually, no, but en masse, yes.
I guess. I mean, the stock's been pretty high priced for a pretty long time at this point. I don't think that's the issue. And of course, you can buy the B shares, the cheaper shares, if you're an individual investor. And
as Serena's story points out, there's been an increased appetite on the part of institutions, which might have an even shorter timeline. A lot of retail investors will say, I'm gonna put my money with Warren Buffett and just have faith and confidence in it.
That's right. Yeah, and I think any number of these maybe add up to some of this, but there's no question that the stock is falling behind, and that's an issue that matters to him. I mean, he said that last year that they would buy back the stock, which he's always said. To him, it's sort of a last resort. I want to put money to work buying businesses.
That's just financial engineering.
Right,
That's basically what that is.
Which he purports to not like. So,
we shall see.